Hi guys, welcome to part 3 of the Root Motion tutorial series. Today we're going to add the coding and set up the animation for sprinting, fix the print string for walking that we ran into at the end of the last video, and we're going to get the camera set up so that it's following the animation movements and following behind the character when we move. First thing we're going to do is fix the print strings. Not working with the walk since it's an easy fix, we can get that fixed real quick. So go ahead and open up your third-person character blueprint. All we need to do for this is just copy the ones that we created and we're gonna just paste them and connect them to the inputs in the off the false of the branch. So we're just gonna copy that, paste it, connect this to the print string, connect this down here. Same thing with the side input. Copy and paste that. Connect those. Compile and save. Just go ahead and test that real quick. Make sure it's working. So our inputs are working when we're walking. Let's go into running. And our inputs are registering. So we got 2 and 2. And then walking, we got 1 and 1. So we're good. All right, so next we're gonna jump into doing our sprinting. First thing we need to do is go ahead and get the animation added to the project. The animation is linked down in the pinned comment, in the comment section. I'm still not able to add download links in the description. Still fighting with YouTube with that, so till I can do that, I'll just keep putting them in pinned comments. So go ahead and download that real quick. And it's already set up for the skeleton and stuff, so not a big issue. All we need to do is go to our animation folder, make sure we got that open. This thing's gonna let me. I hate when it does this. Right, that into the animations. I don't understand why that does that sometimes. It's so aggravating. So our skeleton, we're gonna select the SK mannequin skeleton, which is our UE4 skeleton. Go ahead and make sure your settings are the same as mine. I use the mix and mode converter to convert the animations so that they would be correct for the skeleton with root motion. So just make sure that your settings are the same as mine. It's what they recommend to use when importing. Go ahead and click import. Let's go ahead and open that up real quick. You're gonna need to click the root motion, enable root motion here. So go down to your root motion, enable root motion, so that we can use that in the blend space. Go ahead and close that. Let's open up our blend space. So in the blueprints folder, blend space. All we're gonna do in here is we're gonna change our vertical axis, which is our forward and backwards speed. Our maximum axis value, we're gonna change to 3. And then we're gonna take that sprint forward and we're gonna drag it to the top of the middle here. So now we will go into sprinting in our blend space. Go ahead and save that, close that. We're not gonna need that anymore. We're gonna do everything else in our third person character blueprint. So this is our camera zoom. So let's go ahead, highlight that, click C on your keyboard. Let's go ahead and comment that, camera zoom. And if you want to set it to the same colors as these, click on that. And then you just have to drag the color up in here. That's how you can save colors to make them easily accessible. Click on this one, just pick that color, click OK. So now we got our camera zoom. I'll move that out of the way for now. Go ahead and drag this out so you got some more room there. Kind of move this in, clean that up a little bit. I did do that after the tutorial, so the last video. So if you want to do that real quick, just kind of clean up this area so we got some space. We're going to add our sprinting and do our logic for our sprinting right here. So what we're going to do next, go ahead and create a new variable. We're going to call that sprinting question mark. You can name that whatever you want. Make sure that's a Boolean. And let's go ahead and set up our mapping for our sprint. So if you want to go to edit, project settings, go down to input, same way we did for our toggle walk. We're going to click the plus in the action mappings, name this sprint. I'm going to set this to left shift. You can set it to whatever you'd like to set it to, but that's what I always use. Let's go ahead and right click, type in sprint. We're going to get our action event. For our input action off our press, we're going to do set sprinting. We're going to click the box in that to make that true. Go ahead and duplicate that with Control D. Uncheck your box to set it to false. So we're going to connect that to the release. So we're set up as far as our input action to input mapping to be able to sprint and stop sprinting. So we're going to go up here to our forward and backward and right and left, basically our forward and side inputs. And we're just going to drag off of our branch here, off of our print string, sorry, and create a branch. And then we're going to drag that sprinting up to the condition. And then if that's true, we're going to set forward input. And then off of that forward input, we're going to create a multiply. Now we're doing this the same way we did our running. So if you remember in the previous video, we multiplied by 2 so that we could have running speed to set our forward input to go to the maximum speed. So in this one, we're going to do the same thing. We changed our forward axis to 3, so we're going to put 3 down here. And we're just going to connect that to our axis value. We're going to grab where we created our reroute node. Drag off. We're going to create another reroute node. Connect that to that reroute node. And the false, we don't need to do anything to. So we are good to go there. All right, and so after we get this set up, we need to make sure that we connect this print string from the false side of this branch to this branch also, because we want to check. So basically the true on this side enables our max run speed at 2. The false side of this enables our walk. So we need to check from our walk also, our walk speed, because our standard input is 0. So we need to check from there also to see if we're sprinting. Go ahead and compile and save that, and let's test that out. Now you can see we are sprinting. If you want to be able to sprint diagonally in your blend space, if you have sprint diagonal movement as well, like right, forward, left, you can just set those in the top right and top left corner of your blend space, like basically how we had the run set up before we added the sprint, before we increased it to 3. You would just set those up the same way. So now if you take a look, we are going from sprinting into running, which, I mean, you can do that, or sprinting into walking. You could do that, but you'd have to add in stop animations and stuff like that. I have no intention of doing that in this tutorial. Maybe in a later tutorial I might do stop animations and stuff like that. But normally you wouldn't just go from sprinting to stop. You would go into running and then slowly go in, you go in back into your walk or stop. You normally wouldn't just make a dead stop from sprint. So to go from sprinting to walking, we're going to fix that because that just doesn't look or feel very good. So all we're going to do with that, we're just going to take our running. We're going to set running right after our sprinting. Go ahead and set that to true. We don't have to add anything else other than that. And then let's go ahead and add a print string here. And we're going to put sprinting. Let's go ahead. Do our duration for 0. Let's change the color of that to red, just so it's a different color. Compile and save that. So now you go from sprinting into running, but for some reason that print string's not showing up. Why is that? Oh, duration. It's not the same as the forward and side input because you're not constantly pushing it. If you were holding it, then yeah, you would. Okay, so there we go. Sprinting, and then we can do not sprinting. Save that. So, but you can also still go out of sprint from walk. You can set that up different also, but you can be walking and then go to a dead sprint. So that's why I leave it like that. So yeah, there we go. We got our sprinting added in. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our camera lock on our character so it follows our movement and kind of goes with the animations. Has a little bit better feel to the movement because the camera kind of moves with the animations. So we're going to get our camera zoom up here where we moved it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to delete these two, the camera boom and the target arm length. We're going to go ahead and create another variable. Call it target arm length. And we're going to change that to a float. Let's go ahead and drag that out and set that. We're going to connect that to our camera zoom. Take our return value and put that in there just like we had it before. Go ahead and compile that. All right, so now we need an event tick. Let's go ahead and add our event tick in. I'm gonna go ahead and set delta seconds here because I don't believe we've set the delta seconds. We created that variable, but we never actually, we have that variable for delta seconds, but we never actually set the delta seconds. And we're gonna need that to be set for our camera. So what we're gonna do from here, we're gonna take our camera boom and we're gonna drag off of that. We're gonna get the target arm length like we had originally for our camera zoom, and then we're also going to get our target arm length. Off our delta seconds, set actor rotation. We're going to do F interp 2. Keep this clean. We're just gonna drag our delta seconds variable off of that. We're also gonna need a branch in here because we're only gonna want to set this when we're moving to follow our character. We want to still be able to spin around the character while we're idle. We still want to be able to look around, but when we go in to start to actually move, then we want the camera to lock onto us so that it follows our movement. All these, hit Q, and that'll line those up. So need this second. Just wanted to get that all set up. So we're going to take our side input and our forward input. Let's do the side down here. And we're going to get not equal for both of those. And we're just going to leave that set to 0. And then we're going to get or Boolean. We're going to connect those together. That's going to go into our branch condition. All right, so we're going to grab our camera broom. We're going to set our target arm length again. Basically, we move that from up where our camera zoom was at. We're moving that down here. Connect that to our branch. Let's clean this up a little bit. Move this here. Move that there. And then our return value from our interp of our target arm length with our target arm length for up here for our camera zoom. It's going to give it the return value for that. And then we need to get our actor rotation. We need to get our controller rotation, and we're going to do an R interp off of this. Connect our control rotation into our target and our actor rotation into the current. Grab our delta seconds variable, connect that to that, and we're going to split the struct on the return value of the R interp and also the new rotation. We're going to split the struct on that. And we're going to connect that to our yaw That's all we're going to connect there. Our interp speed, let's go ahead and set that at 10. Let's do the same on the first one. Go ahead and compile and save that. Let's check that out. So now our character is actually moving. You can kind of see the camera kind of moves with the character, and you can move your mouse to control your character now. You can still move in all the direction you need to, but now basically you're able to move your character. If you're doing a third-person shooter like our animations are, you're set up now. You just got to get your target, your reticle, and start adding in your animations for your weapons and get all that stuff set up. But you got your basic movement pretty much set up already. And we're still able to zoom in and out. That's kind of slow now. Let's change that. Let's go ahead and go back up to our camera zoom. We got that set to 100. I thought we had that on 50. Go ahead and set that to 100. I want to try something out here. Let's go ahead and set, because our camera boom right now, our target arm length is 400. I think this is setting it to, so target arm length is set to 300. So we're only going 100 in and 400 out. Let's go ahead and change that on here to be 300 as well. We're gonna set this to 100, 500 instead of 200 and 600. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I like that a lot better. You can adjust those whichever way you want to adjust them. Let's try something out. I want to try something out here. Let's add a timeline in here. I wasn't intending to do this, so this is kind of a bonus. If you stuck around in the video, this is kind of a bonus for you here. Drag it up. That up. And let's go in this timeline. I'm gonna change this to half a second. Let's add a float track. And we'll call this camera, let's call it camera zoom. So go ahead and right click. Let's add a key. We're gonna set this to 0, 0. Right click, set another key, and we're gonna set this to 1 and 1. Oh, no, sorry. 0.5, 0.5. And then you can click on these two buttons and that'll zoom in to where it fits. Let's compile and save. Let's check that zoom out now. That's a little bit. It's a little bit better. Let's go ahead and extend this to 1. Click on this, and we'll set this to 1 and 1. See how that looks. What happens if I go down? There we go. It's not quite as choppy, and you can play around with that and get it to exactly where you like it now. It's not as choppy. You don't have as much, clickiness. The camera stopping and kind of popping there. But yeah, we're all set up. We're good to go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this helped you out. If you got any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Add them down in the comments. I'll answer them as soon as I can. I don't have a problem with helping people out if they're having issues. So if there's somewhere you're stuck, let me know. If there's anything else that you'd like to add, also leave that down in the comments. Next tutorial, For the series part 4, we're gonna work on our jumping. It's one thing we haven't, touched base on is our jumping. So we want to get that taken care of. So I appreciate the support. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get notified when the next video gets updated. As I said, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helped you out. See you in the next one. Peace.